Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. I am your host, Justin Allen.
And I am Moses Wartooth.
And I think we're going to kick it off today, man. I want to talk about these new laws that are coming out in Texas.
Let's go. Yeah, there's like 750 of them at least. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Like September 1st, man, that's a lot of stuff is changing, man. A lot of stuff. I mean, they're tackling everything from drag shows, trans athletes to healthcare, like you name it, right?
Times they are a-changing.
Yeah, they really are. And I think I don't think a lot of people are really aware of what's going on, man, because it's not getting a whole lot of hype.
It normally never does. Like the last time major laws got changed, like no one ever talks about that shit. Even though most of the stuff is pretty fucking good. Like the things that I've been reading, most of it I tend to agree with.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's a couple of little tweaks I probably would have made to some of those laws, and like but
This is Texas.
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess, dude. You gotta get a little bit of fucking wiggle room with these guys, right? But this stuff is definitely bound to piss some people off, So I mean, I want to go ahead and just start off, man. I want us to get our news source we got ready to pull up and let you guys know we're not just talking out our ass, and we're gonna read straight from this news source.
Yeah. So first off, this one has to do with drag shows.
Well, let's let's tell them like where this is actually coming.
Okay, this is Axios Dallas. I'm probably butchering that first part, but yeah.
Yeah, and it was published on August 29th, 2023. So these are all the laws that are coming to effect September 1st. All right, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You want to jump right?
Gotta get the facts. I'm ready to talk about some drag shows. So Senate Bill 12 will criminalize businesses that host sexually orientated performances in front of children. Seems pretty fucking legit to me.
Yeah, man, because I mean, that's always like, that's a big thing that you hear about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and this has always been my argument with this shit, right? When you talk about like, trans rights and all that stuff, the LGBTQ, AI plus whatever, alphabet gang, as I like to call them half the time. I mean, because I don't mean that more as I make jokes about it, but it's like, they keep adding
so much shit. I don't even know what all of it stands for anymore.
Back in the day, I used to refer to the alphabet gang as the federal government.
Yeah,
like true. The DEA, FBI, CIA, all that shit. Yeah. But now it's just like it's that whole community, because they just keep adding stuff to it. But, I don't know, like what I've seen in the past, like in the news, man, is like, it's always, they take like the absolute worst case scenario.
They do.
Right. And it'll be like some super like trans drag queen in front of like 6-year-olds, like teaching about like sexual orientation.
Reading a fucking book at the library about it.
Yeah. And like the thing is like, I don't know. I tend to focus more on like what happens in my personal life and the people that I know and like in my community. Right. And where we live, I've never even heard of that being like remotely a thing.
No, and like there's drag shows, but they're not sexualized. It's literally just a man wearing some woman's clothing. Like I don't really care about that, but to me, like that isn't specifically sexualized.
Yeah,
but I guess that's also talking about like drag shows with like strip teases or some kind of weird shit like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I guess.
Well, I mean, the verbiage specifically says in front of children.
Yeah, and it's hosts sexually oriented performances. So I guess that is like, is that up to whoever's hosting the event or like? I mean, at the end of the day, that should be up to the fucking parents.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be if they don't want their kid to see that, don't fucking bring them up there.
But you also want to look at it like too, like also like like a flip side. That's kind of vague verbiage. It is. What defines sexually oriented?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because a man wearing a dress isn't sexual. Like,
yeah. Well, because the Pentecostals would, say that, like, if a woman wears makeup, that's, sexually oriented.
True.
You know what I mean? So
or shorts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless, drag shows in front of children, I don't think have been really an issue in Texas because I feel like nobody would stand for that shit.
Like people like to bring that shit up all the time, but I've never seen I know they do have them, but they're typically like fucking bars where a child isn't allowed in the first place.
Shit, dude, like I know a guy that actually, we went to school with a guy that does them occasionally and stuff.
I know who you're talking about.
We're talking about,
they have that shit at bars, not at a goddamn daycare. Like,
it's all adults.
Yeah.
Which is like Sorry, babe. My phone was going off. But it's all adults. You know, so I mean, it's sorry, I was waiting on an important call.
Oh yeah, but this says that they can be fined $10,000 and performers can be charged with a misdemeanor. So that's a pretty serious fucking thing.
So they're hitting the businesses hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's like whose discretion, like who's to say what is sexual and what's not.
Yeah, that's what
I think
kind of has me worried, man. Is like the verbiage in a lot of things that are starting to kind of come up, especially in Florida with DeSantis. It's very, very vague.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And which, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I agree with like 90% of this, like how it's going and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. But the thing is like, it's cool when your people are in charge.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if that script flips? You know what I mean?
We'll talk about this on another subject later. We'll have to get back into that as far as the vague legalities of things and like what other people say, or it's all cool as long as you're on the side of it until you're not. And then you're kind of like, what the fuck? But yeah, I don't know. And like, so we'll go on. The next one, trans athletes prevents transgender college athletes at public colleges and universities from competing on a sports team that doesn't match their sex assigned at birth. Again,
I don't have an argument for that.
No.
Sorry, man. I'm trying
to put it's
my
like
freaking phone on silent right now. That's why, like, everybody, I'm kind of like looking down and stuff. If you're watching on video.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, we can't. That's just. I mean,
again,
that's a hot topic.
I don't understand how women are cool with that. They've fought so long for women's rights.
They're not, dude.
The left women are. They're like, oh, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, but how many of them fucking...
None. They ain't fucking playing sports. They're
how many of those fucking momos... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those fucking momos are eating donuts and fucking drinking wine and bitching about like the fucking, you know, end times or whatever, the fall of Western civilization, because we don't fucking abide by whatever they want to throw out, man. Like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, I don't have any children, but like, I would be fucking livid if I had a daughter that worked her ass off in like high school, like, I don't know, let's just say track.
Literally anything.
Yeah, literally anything, and just throwing it out, track. And, you know, she did varsity and then she got a scholarship. She went to college and they say, okay, now we're doing like some national championships, right? And then some fucking dude, all right? All right, we'll call it what it is, man. Like a dude with boobs, like comes in and is like, hey, man, I'm going to fucking compete against your daughter.
Which you can't tell me any different. The only guys that fucking compete against women were getting their fucking ass beat by other dudes.
Yeah, dude.
So they have to fucking step. They're fucking sore losers and have to go compete against women.
Yeah, it was like that famous. I can't remember technically her name, but it was a swimmer, right? You know, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and she placed. And well, as a dude, she was like 400th, like in the nation.
She's a fucking nobody.
Yeah, you know, which is still, I mean, good. Like relatively, I mean, that's still like you're still like a fucking good athlete. Like,
true.
You know,
but just accept the fact that you ain't the fucking best and go home.
And then he transitions, right, and then becomes the #1 performing at like swimmer in that division.
Yeah,
for women.
And that shit's been going on in funny powerlifting. Like,
what? That's happening in powerlifting now?
Yeah, dude. Like, no fucking
dude, that's
shit.
like literally an episode of fucking South Park, dude. What was it? Randy Savage or whatever the fuck coming in? It was like, ugh.
Beefcake.
Yeah, dude. Like, oh my God. I'm a strong woman, you know? Yeah, dude. And then it's like PC Principal's fucking girlfriend, like, doesn't want to admit that it's bullshit, but she's just like, it's bullshit.
Yep.
She just gets like fucking brutally like gets her ass ripped like whipped or whatever like the entire time, man. All right, you want to move on to another one?
Yeah.
All right, so the next law that's coming up into effect September 1st, and like we said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is for Texas state only. This is not federal by any means. So the title is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Senate Bill 17 bans diversity, equity, and inclusion offices and diversity-related training at public universities.
Again, agreed. It's a waste of fucking time. We need to be learning about real shit.
Yeah.
Not bullshit.
For sure, man. I just think people are tired of like having it shoved down their fucking throats.
They are.
Like, you know, like, and I'm not talking about any one specific group of people here.
No, like, I'm just saying that's not something that we need to be learning in school. We have better, like, that's not what people pay to go fucking learn about. If they want to, they can watch shit on YouTube. You
know, it's funny, man. Like, you know me, like, I've taken like a shit ton of like college classes or whatever. And so now, like, you know, like, I'm a chemistry major. And so I will say this. that topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion always fucking comes up in those like liberal arts classes, right? Mm-hmm. I've taken a lot of political science classes in the past and stuff like that, but I will tell you where they never come up. Science. Ever in science. Yeah. You sit in a biology class, sit in a chemistry, especially a chemistry class. Dude, I have a teacher. He's like, you check that shit at the door. He was like, I don't give a fuck who you are, what you identify as, what your beliefs are.
That has nothing to do with learning a goddamn subject.
Because he was straight up, he was like, I believe what you can prove in this lab, which I totally agree.
That makes sense.
That's how it should be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It should be, like, you know, these ideas should be founded in fact.
Yeah.
Right? Like going back to trans athletes, you know, it's like, dude, like, that's a dude. Like, even if you, like, completely, like, post-op 100% and all that stupid shit.
Your testosterone levels are still going to be higher because you're originally a man.
Dude, your bone density is going to be different. Like, you're going to have more muscle mass. Like, you're just built differently, dude. That's why, like, historically, men have always fought in wars. Like, you know? But, I don't know. I mean, I just think, like, people in general are tired of fucking hearing about it, man. You know, I got a lot of diverse friends and stuff, and you know, people from like various communities have told me, they're like, hey man, I'm tired of like hearing about this fucking bullshit. You know, they're sick of it.
It's like being a goddamn vegan. If you want to be one, that's cool, but shut the fuck up about it.
Oh, okay. Let's see what the next one is, man. Progressive prosecutors is the title. Senate Bill 20 will make it easier to remove district attorneys who refuse to pursue violations of certain state laws like abortion bans and low-level drug offenses.
Okay. This one I may have a problem with. Okay. Make it easier to remove district attorneys to refuse pursue violations of certain state laws.
So like essentially,
so that means if like it's basically saying that the people like, so a district attorney that is like kind of lenient on the abortion stuff and low-level drug offenses, they're going to try to hammer down on them?
Yes. They're essentially going to be like, here's the fucking laws. You have to enforce them.
Okay.
Whereas like normally that district attorney has the ability to decide whether or not to even press charges. They can just dismiss a case because they represent the state essentially.
Okay.
So, you know, the state could be like, well, there's not enough evidence here, or we think there was some foul play or whatever it may be. But now the state,
like, this is by the book. No more fucking around. Okay.
So
I'm going to disagree with that because I am pro-abortion and low-level drug offenses. Fuck out of here with that. It's a waste of goddamn money. Let people do drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I think they're just, I don't know. I don't really like that one because that's how it starts, man. It starts with like abortions. It starts with low-level drug offense.
And again, that's pretty vague. What's a low-level drug offense?
Oh, yeah. Because you see our local news, like they find someone with like a fucking 1/8 of an ounce of weed, and they're like
major drug bust.
Oh yeah,
freedom.
yeah, dude. How do you think we're buying all these brand new cruisers and we live in a poor ass community and shit, dude?
We're like, we need tanks.
Dude, holy shit, dude. It's literally just like at this point, like I don't know, borderline shakedown with the drug stuff. I'm talking about end user quantities here, people. I'm not talking about like a dude who gets popped like fucking 50 pounds in the trunk or like a few kilos of coke or some shit. I'm talking about some kid who bought 1/8 of one strand of marijuana, 1/8 of another strand of fucking cannabis, marijuana, whatever.
Yeah, he's got a little dime bag or something.
Yeah, a couple of dime bags, whatever. But then he gets fucking pulled over. Boom, he's got 2 separate bags. He gets popped with intent to distribute. His fucking life is radically altered for the rest of his life.
Let that kid go back home and go back to college. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah. How many fucking doctors, lawyers have we lost because of these bullshit fucking laws, man? And that's the thing that gets me about Texas, man, because, like, you know, I mean, you know me, man. I'm always, like, super critical of, like, government, right, in general. I mean, I love this state. Like, I wouldn't change it for any... well, hold up. I wouldn't change me living here for anything. Yeah, let me correct that shit.
I want to make.
Yeah. You know, but, like, we pride ourselves on, like, liberty and, like, the individual above the state and all that stuff, man. But when you start looking at the laws that get passed under the tables, man, it literally goes against that.
Yeah.
You know, in certain areas.
Yeah. Typically drugs and abortion shit. That's like our main thing, which people like to really focus on, which I just disagree with that shit.
Yeah. Fuck, let's see what else we got, man.
We got social media. House Bill 18 requires digital social media platforms to get consent from a parent or guardian before entering into an agreement with minors to create an account. So I'm assuming minor is under 18?
Yeah, so, that's kind of how I read it, man.
I mean, that sounds relatively fair. the typical parent is just going to sign off on that shit anyways.
Yeah.
So do you think that is like taking away the blame from like Facebook or Instagram and putting it on the parent? Like how do you interpret that?
I think you have to like kind of read it from like the state's perspective. You see what I mean? Like there's no fucking way that like Texas state Congress is like quote unquote backing Facebook or like Instagram. You know what I mean? Like those they're all over those dudes like flies on shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but all those motherfuckers have Facebook. Everybody talking about these bills and writing and passing shit. They all use social media too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I mean I don't disagree with it.
I feel like so it's probably gonna be like if you put in your birthday and you say that you're under the age of 18, it's gonna have like a little checkbox that says your mommy approves of this.
Yeah, that's kind of
like, what does it fucking mean?
I don't know. That's kind of what like I'm curious about. Like what is that agreement? Like, and how do you verify that?
Exactly. Like
that's a parent.
Is the parent gonna have to show an ID or something?
A birth certificate, like, an ID, like all this shit.
Yeah, and then that's just gonna feed them more of fucking your personal information.
Ooh, conspiracy time, right?
I don't know. I mean, they already have everything anyway.
Yeah. These guys.
Again, that's pretty goddamn vague.
It is. Like all of these are vague as shit.
The theme of this episode.
That's what I hate about
new laws. Super fucking vague.
That's what I hate about legislation, dude. Is like it's starting to become vague, more and more vague.
More and more like case by case basis shit.
Yeah,
really.
It's like this is how we interpret it. Like what? Yeah. What are you talking about? Interpret. Like it should be like straight up, set in stone, black and white, no questions asked.
Yeah.
No room for fucking error, like none of this shit.
Yeah, no room for like questioning or going around shit, finding loopholes.
Yeah, I wonder how like big tech kind of feels about that, man.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. The way I'm reading it is it just kind of covers their ass.
Sure.
Because if they have a 16-year-old on there that's sending inappropriate shit to adults or whatever, they can be like, look, your goddamn parents approved of you to have this account, so the blame is not on us.
Some like tween trying to buy some fentanyl laced quote unquote Xanax, right? Yeah, which apparently is becoming a huge thing. You know, I think we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it before, but
we have.
The University of Texas is like the number one out of all the colleges in the nation, is the number one consumer of like fentanyl. You know,
like act like. Not lace, like they want the actual fentanyl, right? Which is weird, but whatever. Speaking of
fentanyl, yeah, man. I'll read this one. The next law that's coming in, or bill that's about to become a law on September 1st, is titled "Fentanyl Deaths." It is House Bill 6. It allows prosecutors to pursue murder charges against a person who provides someone a fatal dose of fentanyl, classifying the overdose as, in quote, poisoning.
That's pretty heavy. So, I mean, I guess that's going to require all dealers to start having test kits.
I mean,
I
see a lot of fucking problems with this one, dude.
I do too.
That's a lot of fucking dudes that are going to end up on like murder charges and not even knowing it, dude.
Yeah, because they're literally just they literally don't even touch the product. They get it from a guy,
maybe
bag it, send it to some. Like,
but maybe it's I mean, how many looking back in our past, people we've known like end users, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, I have a little extra. I'll like hook a friend up, give me $10 or whatever. He doesn't know what the fuck is in that shit. He dies, whatever, man. I mean, then all of a sudden like you were just sharing something with a friend. You know, both of you thought you had what you had or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you just thought it was like the legit product.
Like if you had an amount of, let's say, cocaine, for instance, and I was like, yo, man, can I get some of that? And and I do more than you, and I end up dead, and you don't.
And then I go away for fucking
murder charge.
25 to life.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And like that, the thing is like, that's not like getting the fucking drug deal. I mean, well, how far up that chain does that go? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, if I gave you the cocaine that was laced with fentanyl, I didn't know, I get a murder charge, right?
I mean, that says against a person who provides someone a fatal dose. So to me, that's you and me.
So like, does it end at me? Or does it go to, like, whoever I bought it from?
I don't know.
And, like, how many murder charges are we talking about here? Or who ends up, like, holding it? You know, I mean, somebody's going to...
Or does it just go up the fucking chain, as many people as they can find, you're all getting fucking murder charges? Like, how does that fucking work?
You know, like, instead of, like, I don't know, possibly securing our fucking borders for once, try that, you know? But, nah, dude, we're just going to, like, literally turn, like... And be honest, I know it's fucking sad. It's drug addiction, all right? It's an illness. It's a sickness, dude. That's really
going to affect a lot of, like, kids.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're going to have...
that don't die are going to catch murder charges.
Tons of, like, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, because that's all you hear about in the news is all these fucking young college kids.
Or, dude, even overdosing. High school kids.
Yeah.
Like...
and then all of a sudden they're gonna be getting hit with like murder charges and shit. Dude, imagine being someone's fucking parent. You just had a kid, because kids are going to be kids, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to do dumb shit. Like, you should be a good parent. You should educate them. But, like, at the end of the day, man, like, they're going to fucking, you know, venture out. They're going to try to experiment. They're going to do dumb, like, little dumb shit we did growing up, right? Like, we're lucky to be alive, honestly. You know?
Sure. And we didn't even have to worry about this kind of shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was actually, you know, side note, I was actually talking to a friend of mine on campus. He's a little younger than me, obviously. I think he's 23.
Mm-hmm.
And, he all he does is he'll drink beer, but he'll smoke weed occasionally, right? I was like, no big deal. Like, no one really even gives a shit about it, right? But he was like telling me, like, you know, some of these parties he goes to, like, you know, some people, you know, will occasionally do like cocaine and stuff, and he is not a STEM major or like science major, and I was telling him, man, because like my research that I do is based around toxicology. I was like, if I was you, I would not touch a single pill or powder ever.
Yeah, nowadays it's too fucking risky.
Fuck no, dude. I wouldn't even like trust them fucking tests, dude. Like fentanyl, like reagent tests. What, you're buying it for some shady ass LLC? Ship it to your fucking house. It came out of some dude's fucking garage. You know what I mean?
Are they gonna catch a murder charge? I wonder how that would. I bet there would be a fucking lawsuit, man. If they tested that and it was like, fentanyl free, and the person took it and died. That's a lawsuit.
Dude, that bill is just a fucking mess, dude. And that is, I'm telling you right now, people, mostly for the Texans, in case you can't see, if you're not watching on video, there's a huge Texas flag behind us. Like, House Bill 6, fentanyl deaths, is going to come back and it's going to bite us in the ass.
But
dude.
I feel like that's one of those bills that's going to spread out to other states. Like, I think people are going to adopt that one.
Yeah.
Or
but
at least, I mean, like,
I can see that.
fentanyl is a fucking epidemic. There has to be something done about it, but I don't think that's the answer.
Well, like, you know, my thing is like, you know, just secure our fucking borders, man. Like, fucking clamp down, hire new border patrol agents, like, fucking build it up, man. Like,
dude, volunteer militias.
Don't turn your citizens into fucking murderers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I get it. Like, if you want to hit like like a legit dealer, like a real, like a mover and a shaker, a pusher with some heavier charges, right? Because honestly, they're selling a fucking controlled substance and they're not testing for it.
Yeah.
They're absolutely liable. Absolutely. Any fucking private corporation in America would be liable as well.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But
those fuckers ain't paying taxes.
What has me worried, like we were talking about, man, is like the younger fucking people, man. Or just people in general, but like really like the younger people, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're at a fucking house party, you're 18 years old, somebody has a bag of something, they're passing that shit around.
Absolutely.
Everybody dies, like, fuck.
Yeah, and you think these kids can afford the fucking $50 it costs for a goddamn fentanyl test kit? Because everybody's just like, oh, get a test kit, get a test kit. Like, dude, some of these dudes are like, they have like $30 in their checking account.
Their last $50 went to that bag of Coke. They can't afford the test.
You know? So, I don't know. You know, like a part of me is kind of like, well, okay, if you want to have this sort of legislation, right, and be this strict,
offer free test kits,
then the state needs to offer fucking testing. That needs to become a fucking thing, dude. If you want to hang people up like that, you need to fucking meet them halfway at least, you know?
Or like have some sort of amnesty thing where you can go and have your drugs tested. I know other places do that. Like,
oh, you mean like the Netherlands and Portugal?
Yeah. I mean, like festival, like.
And they have like almost no drug overdoses.
Even fucking EDC in Vegas has that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unheard of.
Yeah, there's a really good book by...
I would much rather redirect our funds to shit like that than some of the bullshit we're wasting it on now.
There's a really good book called Fentanyl Inc. by Ben Westhoff. I read it, man. And dude, it is the craziest shit. I'm telling you, people, you got to read it. I believe it was 287 pages, if I remember right, something like that. It's a little long, but not too long. But all his sources are cited. And this guy was an investigative journalist, and he studied the fentanyl epidemic from cradle to grave. And he starts with like one main case. I believe it happened in Michigan with teenagers. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember. I think actually that started with like some other synthetic drugs or whatever, not fentanyl. I think it was like some spy shit.
Oh,
like
yeah.
K2, like
into that shit later on.
Yeah, and like basically like some kid had like murdered like one of his friends and shit. And they found this guy like covered in blood, like walking down a highway, and he was like 16 years old.
Oh, so he was high and physically murdered.
Yeah, like he literally went into a state of psychosis and went fucking crazy. And but then anyway, like the author, you know, Ben Westhoff, he ends the story. He basically travels the whole line of where fentanyl comes from. Mm-hmm. And he ends up in a lab in none other than Wuhan, China. and where they mass produce this shit.
My buddy Bill Gates.
Yeah, dude. And these labs and stuff, even though it's quote unquote illegal in China,
Yeah.
none of that shit is enforced.
Well, it's illegal to make fentanyl, but they just have the precursors and then you combine them.
Yep. And so like they'll ship those precursors to Mexico.
Yeah.
Right. And then Mexico obviously combines them. They actually brought like chemists and shit into Mexico from China to teach them how to do this shit. And then they'll fucking push it up into our country. Right. And
that's just one more way fucking China's getting us.
well, I consider it to actually be an act of fucking open warfare between us and China. I consider it to actually be chemical warfare.
Like, chemical warfare.
I mean, what else is it, man? We lose 100,000 plus people a year to like opioid like deaths, like overdoses, and most of it's directly related to fentanyl.
So what Big Pharma couldn't do, China is helping them out finish the job.
I'm just saying, not even 300 people died in 9/11, or 300,000, or 3,000 people died in 9/11. So like, you know what I mean?
That probably happens in a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
Off fentanyl, like,
Yeah, inside of a month. You know, and then so like why the fuck don't we have fucking Black Hawk helicopters flying those fucking borders and just like signs that say like, dude, you fucking cross, like you're done.
because at the end of the day, they really don't care.
And then like even like speaking of not caring, even like the conspiracy, I don't even think it's even a fucking conspiracy anymore. You want to talk about like privatized prisons?
Dude, yeah, that's not a conspiracy.
Like,
that's legit.
are they just looking for an excuse now to like fucking?
So I think they're gonna. It would seem like they're gonna replace this shit with like if marijuana is gonna become legalized, they're gonna release those people. They need a replacement for that.
Sure.
So
and then what better replacement than an 18-year-old kid who just got a 40-year sentence?
Yeah, and they can use fentanyl as the goddamn boogeyman. So and just make the kid to be a fucking criminal. Whether
boogie. Yeah. God, dude, I just feel like the people who proposed that bill, you probably want to look into where their fucking money came from and who lobbied to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that shit's going to be... We should probably dig into that shit, man.
I see what stocks they're buying, too, because we should probably do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who's making Narcan?
Be something good to look into.
Find some of these companies, man, that are making these testing kits.
Yeah.
You know? Find some, like, Texas-based Houston company or something, you know? Like, all right, man, so keep going on. You want to read this? Or you want me to read it or you want to read it?
I'll read this one.
Okay.
So, there's a tampon tax. Removes the sales tax on feminine hygiene and baby products, including tampons, menstrual cups, diapers, baby wipes, maternity clothes, and breast milk pumping products. Seems okay to me. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
They need that shit.
Yeah.
Women need they need all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really can't find anything in that verbiage that I disagree with.
No.
It almost makes me think that like actual necessities probably shouldn't even be taxed.
Yeah.
I mean, because we have a problem, like people will talk about, we have a problem like in this country in general with like people talk about double taxation.
Mm-hmm.
But Ronald Reagan has like a really good interview he did, I believe, with David Letterman, where he's wearing a suit and he explains how essentially shit is just like taxed to no end.
Yeah.
And he explains how from the moment of creating that, like basically cradle to grave for that suit that he's wearing to the moment of him getting on that stage, that suit had been taxed like 218 times.
God damn.
Some shit like that. Like it was over 200 times.
Yeah.
And then like people didn't even believe. They're like, what the fuck? But like, I don't know, man. Like necessities like that, like I agree with not having tax. Even like for like, honestly, like food. Like why are we paying taxes on like fuck at the grocery store?
We don't have taxes on food.
We don't?
No.
I thought we had taxes on food.
No.
Then what the fuck have they been taxed? Ah, shit. I can't trust that shit.
We don't have taxes on food.
Nah. Well, I'm always usually buying some other shit too.
Yeah. The other shit you have taxes
So fuck me, dude. I didn't realize that.
If meat is fucking...
I thought we had taxes on food though.
Nah, dude.
No shit?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Well, the more you know, guys.
Groceries.
The more you know. The more you know. What else do we have taxes on?
That's the only thing. Groceries is the only thing I fucking know that we don't have taxes on. But like if milk is $3.99 a gallon, it's $3.99.
You're paying $3.99? Yeah. Well, I'm usually throwing in like some extra bullshit. I'm like, yeah, I need this. Like crap I don't actually need.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't. I'm like fucking meat, eggs, bread, nothing else. That's what I'm getting.
You calculate it up. You know what you're paying before you get there.
I bought $17.97 and this is what the fuck I'm paying.
Holy shit.
But yeah, like.
Well, I think a lot of it, like I spent most of my time living overseas too. So like, I don't know. I think I'm just used to like getting raped.
Oh yeah.
Nonstop. But I mean, I would even extend that. I mean, because they focus on like women, like you know, products, you know, that relate to like women and like, you know,
babies
caring for children and stuff like that. But then you want to start looking at like stuff for like men, like I don't know, like maybe razors, condoms.
I guess, yeah.
I guess razors aren't a necessity.
Nah,
But
depending on your
condoms,
job.
you're going to make like a health issue.
I mean, you can go to the fucking. Well, you used to. I don't know if you still can, but you can go to like Planned Parenthood and get free condoms there.
No, don't they still do like free like STD screening and stuff like that?
They probably do. I don't know.
I think they do.
I bet they do. It would make sense for them to do that.
Yeah. We definitely need more of that shit, dude. Honestly.
But I mean, it takes someone, they have to fucking utilize the services given.
Sure.
I mean, somebody can be sitting there with fucking syphilis and not fucking go get tested. So
shit.
We have the offer, but the person has to fucking take them up on that shit. So.
Or you just have to pay out of pocket to a clinic or a hospital, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of hospital, that brings us up to our next bill that is becoming a law on September 1st, like we said, is the itemized hospital bills. Senate Bill 490 requires Texas hospitals and other healthcare providers to provide patients with an itemized bill with a plain language explanation of every service provided before any attempts to collect debt.
We should have been doing that from the that should have been already fucking happening.
Why does that have to be a fucking law, dude? That's just like,
dude, because they're
common sense.
Scam artists, man.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
$400 for a goddamn baby aspirin, dude. They'll try to fuck you over any way they can.
Dude, I mean, I've told the story before on this podcast. You know, like I've been to like German hospitals.
Yeah.
And not that bad, and it's like, dude, like a couple $100 maybe, and like you get taken care of, man. Like I don't know, but you know, here, man, it's just like super shady, and it's just
it is, and you can be like, well,
you wait like, forever,
dude, or you can be like, they'll be like, well, if you pay cash right now, we'll cut you a deal, like.
Dude, yeah, it's like a shady backdoor drug deal.
Man, they're like, well, your bill was $1,300, but if you got $550 in cash, we'll just take that and call it good.
Like why can't you just charge me $550, dude?
Yeah. But that's a whole goddamn fucking scam with the insurance companies and Medicare, like all that stuff, dude. That is a bunch of convoluted bullshit.
Yeah, man. Actually, I need to read more into it, but I heard it's actually a middleman like billing industry that causes that to be an issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently, like when we like go to like the hospital or something like that, you know, we give them our insurance information, right? They kick it to the insurance company or whatever. The hospital's like, okay, you owe us this.
And they like send it to a collection agency type
There's
thing?
basically like a third party. Then they negotiate between the hospital and the insurance. And then apparently there's like some kind of lucrative shadiness to that. And they kind of keep it like hyperinflated or whatever.
That makes sense. So that's why the hospital's always willing to do a cash deal.
Yeah, because it cuts all that bullshit
and just get the money right fucking now.
It's actually, like, I was reading like one of the best things you can do, like especially if you don't have insurance, is you can prepay for like if you're gonna have a kid, you can prepay for a childbirth.
Oh, okay.
And it's like apparently like not even that expensive, like a few $1,000s. Like you can actually like have it all lined up and stuff. So something to think about, folks.
I wonder how much it is like if you just no insurance, no nothing, and just have a goddamn kid, and you're like a middle class working family.
I think it's around like 10 G's where we're at, dude.
That's it.
It's over a little over
more than that.
I think it's around. So I don't know. I don't have any kids. I just like my thing, but like, didn't they? They actually did a new federal law not too long ago, man. I think Biden kind of pushed it through. I mean, he signed the fucking paper in the end, but it was well, fuck, what was it? Oh yeah, like medical debt, like hospital bills, right? Cannot be reported on your credit, like on your credit score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he did that.
Yeah, it was under his administration. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because that just happened like within the last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that was already a fucking thing.
No, yeah. So like, if you go and you get all like fucked up or whatever, like, I mean, you're gonna be in debt. Shit's gonna be in collections.
But it won't affect your credit.
But it's not gonna affect your credit score.
You can still get a cell phone and a new car.
Yes. Buy a house, do all that shit.
As long as you're, because I think that's only like a $25 a month minimum payment. Like as long as you're making that, it won't affect your shit either.
Yeah. I mean, I know a guy
like a $700,000 medical bill. You're just paying $20 a month for the rest of your fucking life.
I know a guy that doesn't own shit officially, and then he's never paid a fucking medical bill.
Yeah.
Ever. He just keeps going to the hospital. And like, because they legally have to serve you. Like now, I mean, I think they're going to do the bare ass minimum.
Oh yeah.
Patch you up and get you out of there. But
and
like,
you better be like actually fucking hurt. Man.
Yeah. I think I fractured my pinky.
Yeah, like, too bad, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Chop chop. We got a guy with a fucking gunshot wound to his abdomen out back or whatever. Oh, okay. Let's see what else we got up on this list, man. Next up, we have mask and vaccine requirements. Senate Bill 29 prohibits local governments from requiring COVID-related masks, vaccines, or business shutdowns. Private businesses and clubs aren't affected.
About fucking time.
Yeah, that's what I was like, is there an argument here? I don't know, man. They're kind of pushing that. I mean, that's good timing for that bill to come through as law, honestly, because
as they're talking more shit about that stuff again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's another wave. They're like already working on another booster that's supposed to come out like in September. What is this, like the 4th booster?
I think it's more than, I think it's 5, I think. But
dude, what the fuck, man?
That's 5 too many. Either way, fuck that shit.
Dude, at some point you just gotta get the shit and get it over with, man. Yeah. I almost fucking died from that shit, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not getting that shit. Like, fuck no. You, dude. I don't know, man. Like this fucking bill, I don't really have anything to bitch about with it.
So local governments, is that government owned, like government entities, like a VA hospital? Is that encased in that?
Ooh,
or is that separate?
No.
Or is that just like a courthouse?
That's federal.
Fuck.
So they're exempt from that shit.
So like a courthouse?
Yeah, so it'd be like our local courthouse, like water department. Fuck, I don't know. Like what else? Like fucking police department, yeah, you know, like
Private businesses and clubs aren't affected. So like Walmart, they can still enforce their own shit.
Yeah, that's what it sounds. That's what it sounds like.
Okay,
yeah. That's what it sounds like. I mean, they're not enforcing shit here.
Fuck no.
No, nobody's wearing masks. Everybody's over that shit, dude. Everybody's over that shit, man. They're done with that. Like, some fucking point, man.
You have to be.
I was reading a statistic, man, that if you have natural immunity, like you got COVID and got over it, it is 35 to 75% more effective than the vaccine. Like, there's varying studies on it or whatever, but apparently it's 35 to 75, times.
Oh, geez.
More effective than the vaccine. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's obviously the vaccine doesn't do a fucking thing. Like, my parents were vaccinated and they got COVID like 3 other fucking times after the vaccine.
Yeah.
Like,
but was it like as bad each time, or did it start getting kind of like, was it like easier to deal with?
No, it was the same of equally shittiness every time.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't fucking do anything.
Because I know I've been exposed to it like a few times and stuff, and there's been a couple times where I feel kind of like shitty or whatever, but it only would last like a day or two.
Yeah.
But the first time I got it, it was like 9 straight days, and it was like horrible, man. Yeah. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking die. I might actually fucking die out here. Oh shit! Well, I'll tell you what, man. I think we got one more to read, man. Let you read that one, because that's right up your alley.
Yeah, it really hits close to home. starts affecting me personally. This is for puppy mills. So, Senate Bill 876 will regulate the number of dogs and cats breeders can have. Breeders with 5 or more females must register by January 2024. So, it was initially my main bread and butter business, but I raised dogs. At one time I had 19 dogs. Didn't have a motherfucking puppy mill though. So all my shit was cared for. I have a nice facility.
Yeah.
Those little bastards fucking, they live better than I do. They got heaters, ACs, like
they have like their own rooms too.
Yeah, they got climate controlled shit in there. Like
they have like doors where they can go outside whenever they want.
Yeah, and
shit, you know,
big ass yards. They got a bunch of land. Like they live good over here. Yeah. But anyways, I've since then downsized a lot. I only have about I got 5 now. So been downsizing for a while, getting out of it. But yeah, that's there's a big difference between a fucking breeder and a puppy mill. So
what is it? I mean, I don't raise any kind of like livestock or like dogs or cats or anything like that. So what is the difference between like a puppy mill and like a breeder? Like what is
a puppy mill, whenever I hear puppy mill, the people that know, it's like having 75 dogs or even 10 dogs in fucking kennels that are like stacked on top of each other. It's basically like fucking, you know how chickens are normally dealt with?
Oh, you mean like the Wuhan wet markets?
Yeah. It would be like that, but with fucking animals. Or fucking dogs or cats or anything.
So like kind of like inhumane.
Yeah, just terrible fucking living conditions. Most of the time they're fucking sick or snotty, like just nasty, like just shit that would it's animal abuse. Yeah. Like it's cruelty to the fucking animals.
So do you agree with this bill or no?
I'm gonna say yes, just because I think it will help with puppy mills, like actual animal cruelty shit. Whereas people who are running a legit business like myself, like I don't have anything to hide. Someone could come and look at my facilities any fucking time of day and all my shit's taken care of.
Yeah.
My fucking animals are healthy. They all have food and water. They're all super, like, puppy mill dog. Like if you walk up to it, it's like super scared or like just, it has no human interaction. It doesn't know how to fucking be around people. Like,
Sure.
You know, like all my dogs are goddamn jumping all over you. Like they're all social and all that.
Hey, what's
stuff.
up, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
So I think it's
they're good dogs.
It's probably for the best as far as the animal's sake. So I will agree with that shit.
Well, there's like a lot of shitty fucking people out there too.
Yeah, dude.
You know, so
A lot of people that are just in it for the money. Like they'll have multiple litters of dogs just stuffed in a like the people that do it in their fucking house are the worst, man.
oh,
They'll have like multiple litters, like 20 fucking animals in their house. Like it's just disgusting as fucking there. Like they don't clean up anything. I don't know.
There's a dude in like a neighborhood a little down the road from me or whatever. He I think he has 12 labs that live inside his house.
God damn.
Yeah. And I'm estimating roughly his house to be 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. You know. So yeah. So,
yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
yeah, because I was driving through, like I was going to see a friend or whatever, and I was driving through and then he had let him out or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is going on there? And then my buddy was like, yeah, man, he was like, he breeds labs and shit, like in his house.
But he doesn't like have a backyard or
Nah, it's a lot.
Dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Especially those kind of dogs, like they need room to run around and shit. Like
Yeah.
they can't be cooped up. That's fucked up.
That motherfucker should be worried about the bill.
That motherfucker needs to be worried about. They need to come get his fucking ass.
I don't know, man. So, you know, we talked about all these new laws that are, you know, coming into, or bills are becoming laws starting, September 1st?
Yeah, and a lot of them are vague.
Yeah, you know, some of them we agree with, some of them we don't fully agree with. But, you know, that diversity one, man, kind of struck with me because I was watching, I don't know if you've seen it. It's relatively new, but Jordan Peterson did a new interview with Theo Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
And have you been hearing about the shit that Jordan Peterson's going through?
Yeah, what are they calling it? Social media training or some shit like that?
Yes. Yeah, he has to go through social media training because his I guess viewpoints have been deemed too controversial or whatever it may be. I don't know.
By Canada.
By Canada.
Canadian provinces. And what is it?
The College of Psychologists.
Yes, that's it.
What was it? Toronto College of Psychologists, right? Is that was that the full title?
Yeah, I know it's the College of Psychologists.
Yes. So it's not an actual college. It's not the college he teaches at.
No.
Right? It's just a board, from what he describes in the interview, it's just a board of professionals, fellow psychologists, right? That are kind of regulated by the government. The government has delegated them authority to basically go on a fucking witch hunt for Jordan Peterson. And so essentially, from my understanding, if you have a complaint about a professional like psychologist or in this case it'd be psychologist, you can just submit a complaint to that board and they decide whether or not to investigate it.
Yeah. But they're required to investigate it, but they have the right. They decide if they want to pursue it and do anything.
Yeah, like basically, essentially, press charges, I guess, or whatever, you know, or have some sort of punishment.
Do some sort of fucking repercussions on it.
But the problem with like Peterson is like basically they're just looking for any excuse to nail him to a wall.
Yeah,
you know, and I think what was it?
One of the things that they got mad about is how he was talking about basically saying climate change is bullshit.
Yeah,
they got pissed about that.
They turned over one of his interviews with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, like they submitted his entire transcript with when he went on the Joe Rogan Experience. They submitted the entire transcript and said it was offensive and it needed to be looked into
as the fucking complaint.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a 3-hour fucking thing.
Dude, what the fuck is happening in Canada, dude? Because supposedly they value freedom of speech like we do, man.
Also, he's been talking a bunch of shit about Trudeau or how do you say that dude's name? Trudeau on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what it is, man. You know, Trudeau called somebody who called somebody, and it's just like boom. Or maybe even Trudeau didn't even do it. Maybe it's just like, you know, his cult like motherfuckers that are around him and shit.
I don't know, man. Like, he's got a lot of enemies. He's got a lot of supporters too. He's like 50-50 on that shit.
I don't know. They keep voting him in.
True.
So,
but look at who we fucking got. They probably cheated that shit too.
Kind of makes you wonder. You might not really have a fucking choice. Yeah, man. I don't know. We do have like a clip, man. You want to like pull it up or whatever, or
we can.
Or you want to skip? Are we still having issues with that?
I mean,
we don't have to pull it up. We don't want to.
I wasn't ready.
No. You're good. You're good. Anyway, guys, check it out. Theo Von on YouTube, man. Jordan Peters interview. I think it just came out like a day or two ago.
Yeah, it's very recent.
A little while ago. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's pretty good, man. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I thought Canadians, you know, because I mean, their constitution is very similar to ours.
Yeah. A funny thing I thought, he was talking about he's going to have to do intensive training with a professional social media coach.
Yeah, but who designates who that coach is?
And what the fuck is a social media coach? Just some left-wing fucking nut job that's like, you can't say this?
Just someone that sits in a room and goes, I don't agree with what you just said.
Yeah.
You have to agree with me. Yeah, it's fucking horseshit, man. Peterson's a good fucking dude.
That makes sense. Yeah, he's not spreading bullshit at all. He's a smart-ass guy who, like...
He's built an empire. I mean, dude, like, if I was fucking Canadian, dude, I'd be, like, champion that dude. I mean, like...
He's like one of the only fucking Canadians Americans even know about.
Other than Justin Trudeau and fucking...
Yeah, but...
Jordan Peterson.
I don't know any Americans that like that dude.
Yeah, I'm saying, but out of people you know from Canada, like, can you name anybody else from Canada?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jim Carrey's from Canada.
Look how South Park depicts him.
Hey, buddy. It's like heads flopping around. Yeah, like square tires on their cars and shit. It's all fucking retarded. Oh, man. I don't know. You think he'll get out of it in one piece, man?
Probably. I mean, I think if he was smart, he should just drop out and just move to America. We'll accept him.
Yeah. We really would, man. Be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, move. What if he's the next guy that moves to Austin?
Dude.
It's like everybody's moving there.
That would not even surprise me. I mean, really, he has a large enough platform now. He doesn't fucking need his Canadian shit.
Yeah.
Like, he has a big following. He could literally tour the U.S. and just give speeches and make fucking money.
Like, why you still even bother, like, teaching at the University of Toronto? Like, why? Especially when they try to fuck with you so much.
Yeah, exactly. He probably actually cares about the fucking citizens, but if they're just going to drill his ass the whole time, he might as well get out of that shit.
Yeah.
Or he can move to Austin and then host video conferences to his Canadian people.
For sure. He has like more pull than their prime minister. Yeah. He probably fucking does, honestly, man.
Probably so, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I've been reading his 12 Rules for Life, man. Mm-hmm. And like some people were trying to shit on it or whatever, but I like, you know, basically like, oh, like it's misogynistic and like all this other stupid shit. But like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm only like halfway through it, but there's nothing in that book that I disagree with.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very well thought out and very well written, man. I highly encourage especially young guy to read that. Well, any guys in general, but just to read that, man. Like, that's definitely a good fucking book, man.
And you got to think, he wrote that shit and he's at the position he is now. Obviously, he knows what he's fucking talking about, or he wouldn't be as successful as he is.
Yeah, and he's very open about his past and shit, and like a lot of the issues that he's had and stuff when he was like younger and stuff.
Oh, really?
Especially. Oh, yeah. Like, he's talked about like in his early 20s, like he drank a lot and stuff, you know, and then somewhere around like his somewhere around his mid-late 20s, like he kind of like started seeing like, oh, I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah.
And then he had issues with he was prescribed benzos, like Xanax. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was Xanax or Valium. I mean, they're both benzos. Yeah. So, but then he became like super addicted to them and couldn't get off of them or whatever. And it took him. I mean, I think it was like a 2-year process of getting off of them. Yeah, those things are fucking nasty, dude. Like, I would not experiment with those.
Yeah.
If I was just word of advice. I've read enough medical literature about those things, man. Like that. That's like one of the hardest things to get off of. It's just, I don't know, super nasty. But I mean, I feel like Jordan Peterson is a very genuine person, and if he
seems like it from every fucking interview I've ever seen him do, like he does not seem like a bullshitter.
Yeah, I feel like if he says something, he's gonna stand by it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know someone who will not stand by what they say?
Who?
Kid Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to throw in some light.
He's a hypocrite.
He's a fucking hypocrite. That dude did you see that picture? That motherfucker got busted drinking Bud Light.
He's like sitting off on his balcony with a Bud Light.
Was he on his balcony?
I believe he was on a balcony.
I was hoping that he was at like a fucking like stadium, like
at a bar or some shit.
Sports event. I mean, it looked like he was on a balcony or something like that, but I was hoping he was like, I don't know, like at a fucking football game.
He could have been. I mean, it was a fucking balcony.
That motherfucker sure as shit had a tall boy Bud Light, and he was sipping on that like it wasn't no thing, dude. Oh my god, dude. I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
I feel like I
called it, man. I fucking called it early on, dude. Did I say it on the podcast?
I don't know.
Because we talked about him blowing it up, right?
I think so. Yeah, we did. With Tannerite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Because I was just like,
I think you did.
I might have. I don't know. But like, I've always just felt, I was like, dude, this is fucking full of shit. Like, this is just for show.
Well, that's what you get whenever you go out on something that's fucking stupid. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, what made me fucking laugh is like all the people were like championing him, right?
Yeah.
And like even like I think like Fox News is getting behind it. Yeah, dude. He's just like, woo, like yeah, this is our guy. Like this represents like our beliefs and all our values and everything like that. And then next like fucking few months later, he's just like over here doing them Bud Lights,
yeah,
you know, like slamming that shit.
That's what you get for going out on a limb over some fucking stupid ass shit.
Like, yeah, dude. It kind of makes you wonder what else he's a fucking hypocrite about.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever happened to? Remember when he was like all trying to run for like the Senate?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "I'm going to be a senator." What fucking happened with that shit?
I mean no one voted for the motherfucker.
Did he even run?
I doubt it.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in Kid Rock's district and he runs for any office and you vote for him, you should kill yourself. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, dude.
Give him a chance. I want to see what he can do.
Fuck that, dude. No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see that shit. I'm tired of playing games. And fuck, we gotta get our shit together, dude.
I mean,
we gotta get.
I don't live in his district. I don't give a fuck what he does somewhere else.
Well, I guess
dude.
I guess it'd be interesting to watch it burn.
Yeah,
because he lives in Tennessee now, right?
I don't know, man.
I think he lives in Tennessee. I think he lives around like Nashville.
Fucking Arnold was the goddamn governor. Let's let Kid Rock have a crack at something. Fuck it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Fuck it. Whatever. I just don't like Kid Rock, man.
I mean,
I've always just thought he was just fake as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying to avoid going on a huge fucking rant because I tend to do that shit. I don't want to like go too hard on it, but I just thought it was funny that he got busted being a total fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, I do like that. That's why you should pick your fucking battles, I guess. Like,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Because eventually, we all know, the heat is going to pass and all these motherfuckers are going to go back to drinking Bud Light again anyways.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. At some fucking point, man.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's like, when is it going to be? Is it going to be like January 1st? You're going to be like, oh, Bud Light's okay to drink again. Like, does it just fucking happen?
I did read that the heir to Anheuser-Busch, that Billy Bush guy we talked about before.
Yep.
He's offered just like, I think like buy the company back.
Really?
Like basically like get it like a control of the company and like kind of bring it back and all that shit.
That would be a good PR stunt for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what it is. It's probably what they're shooting for. They probably already had a bunch of fucking meetings already. Like, okay, so how are we going to turn this around?
Yeah.
The Clydesdales and American flags didn't work.
Yeah. He's already been on fucking Fox News, like talking shit about his ancestors would be rolling over in their graves and shit. So I think if he bought it back, he could be like, power to the people, like all that shit.
Yeah.
It would probably work.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me, man. Like, that whole fiasco. I mean, I get why people are like, you know, frustrated, but I mean, a lot of it's like more of like just group mentality of like people just like, now it's cool to attack that. You know what I mean? Like, I think most people really don't actually give a shit. I mean,
no, people just want to drink beer.
Yeah,
no one gives a fuck if some trans person was on a goddamn can of shit that they're never gonna see. Like, and they wouldn't even known about that shit if it wasn't on the news.
I just think it's funny, man. Kid Rock should have took my stand on that shit.
He should have.
Just stick with it, man. Be like, fuck y'all. I think people would have respected it more. I mean, there would have been some bullshit in the beginning, but like now that he's been busted being a hypocrite, like pff, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over, dog. He's also old as fuck, so he should probably just retire.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised he's managed to stay in the spotlight this goddamn long.
I mean, is he even still making fucking music?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so who gives a shit what that guy thinks?
Is anyone even gonna listen to it?
Fucking shitty ass music. Right? It's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Are you a rapper or a rocker? What are you? I feel like you smell like shit. I just feel like I don't know. When I look at him, I'm like, that dude hasn't had a bath in like 5 days.
That is the fucking vibe of this ball. Stank.
But I don't know, man. You got to be careful. You know, what's the saying? Go woke, go broke.
That's Disney.
There's some fucking there's some truth to that. You want to shit on Disney real quick?
Yeah, fuck
yeah,
Disney,
fucking why not? Fuck them.
So you want to talk? What's the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs movie with only one dwarf in it now? Oh god, don't even get me started on that. So man. Is it? But it's still called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right?
Yes.
But there's just one goddamn dwarf.
From my understanding, it's still Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
As far as I know, that's what it's been called.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is literally like the most like
ragtag group of fucking misfit weirdos.
the most like diverse group of people you could imagine. I don't think any one person is the same like
no sex, ethnicity, like
height, like anything, nothing, dude. So it's like, what the fuck is going on there, man? So I just think people are like, I mean, well, the thing, like, Disney's having problems right now, okay? So, like, let's speak about it from, like, a financial perspective, okay? A lot of their movies are flopping, okay? Their stock is, like... The
vast majority of their latest, like, in the past 4 years, all that shit has been a failure.
Yeah, and then their stock is, like, down, like, within, like, modern history, like, historical lows.
Yeah.
You know? And it's still, like, just dropping, like,
which,
fairly steadily.
If they would stop fucking... revitalizing classics and ruining them, if they would just make their own goddamn woke stories, they wouldn't fail as hard. But the fucking point is they're redoing all the children's classics that everybody grew up with and just fucking destroying them.
That's what's pissing
people off. Yeah. If they would have their own goddamn idea, like there's not even 7 goddamn dwarves in that movie. Why is it fucking called that?
Like, just have one dwarf.
John Claude and 6 weirdos. Like, fuck it, dude. Like, there's no reason to like be wasting those fucking names.
It's almost like they just lost creative fucking talent, dude.
I mean, that seems to be the case across media as a whole.
Dude, I bet if like Walt Disney could come back right now, he'd just bitch slap the hell out of all of them, dude.
Well, for sure.
Like, imagine if you could just resurrect him, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be like, all right, you could just like spend 30 minutes telling them like everything that's happened, right, one-on-one, and be like, behind that door are the board of directors.
You know what would really set him off? It'd be like, one of the dwarves is a Jew.
Yeah, just because he was he was a very anti-Semitic and shit.
Yeah,
like extremely anti-Semitic. Like, damn, dude. But I don't know, man. I think I can see your point of view with like, you know, rehashing the classics and stuff. And my thing is like, you know, if you're gonna do a classic, keep it the same, dude.
That's the whole point.
Keep it the fucking same. But you know, I think a lot of it too, man, is like it's very like forced diversity. And now I'm not just talking about like ethnicity in general, like they're in all forms of diversity, like sexual orientation, like religious, whatever, you name it. People are just like fucking tired of having shit shoved down their goddamn throat all the fucking time, and they sure as fucking shit don't want that happen to their kids.
Yeah,
and then like companies like Disney, they were like, oh, how can this happen? Like, what's going on? Oh, you guys are like racist, or you're fucking bigots, or you're some sort of ist, right?
Like, no, I didn't want to watch Buzz Lightyear make out with a dude. Like,
yeah, yeah, it's fucking not our cup of tea, dog.
Yeah,
you know. But I don't know, man. Maybe these people are just so disillusioned and so out of fucking touch, man. They just don't actually understand like what the majority, like the average American, is really like.
But you would think that whenever it starts affecting the fucking pocketbooks, they would withdraw and fucking start doing shit
typically,
right. But they haven't done it yet. It's weird.
That's why people champion capitalism, because that's usually supposed to be how it works, right?
Do you think they're fucking sticking to their guns in hopes that eventually people are just going to come around?
I think
that's a stupid fucking, like, I don't think that's going to work.
I think so. It's just like a waiting game. Eventually people will stop caring, but I don't see that steam running out anytime soon, man.
It shouldn't. We need to fucking stand up for that shit. Like, fuck. That's mine.
It almost makes me wonder, there's some sort of like weird agenda that's taking place, man. That like maybe a lot of these like companies, you know, these CEOs and stuff. I mean, I don't know. Like, call me a conspiracy theorist, man, but maybe they had a fucking meeting, you know, backdoor meeting somewhere, and they're like, okay, like we're gonna try to shift the culture into this direction, and we all have to kind of work together to do so.
Oh, I 100% believe that.
Because how else do you explain like all these companies that are like historic, like have all this history, and they're like iconic Americana, right? And all of a sudden they just start flipping everything, right?
Yeah. And losing money.
Yeah. And they just keep bleeding fucking money nonstop.
Do you think they're being like, in a sense, threatened or like forced into do this against their will?
I mean, who knows? I mean, are you talking about government being involved?
Yeah, government's always involved.
Yeah, but I mean, like literally, like, I mean, the federal government can just come in and be like, we can just make new taxes. We can just fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like, you want to like deal with the heat from the people, or you want to fuck with us?
Well, hell, didn't we talk about on a previous episode about how like the CIA was involved in Hollywood?
Oh yeah. They're still actively involved in it.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, that checks out. Like that's probably what's going on now.
Yeah.
They're just...
And then like the director of the CIA in 1971 there was a congressional hearing that he actually gave a statement to, I believe it was in 1971. He was directly asked if they had agents or assets in mainstream media, right? Like working for companies like would be Fox and CNN. Well, Fox wasn't around then, but CNN, shit like that, right? And he said yes. And I believe it was estimated to have 400 assets around that time.
Shit.
Yeah. Kind of makes you fucking wonder. You only know what they let you know, right?
Yeah. So
Just saying.
they're pushing this shit on people because they want to weaken the people and make us easier to control, easier to fucking step on.
I can see that, man. Like we talked about,
like they don't want us to rebel against that shit.
You remove masculinity, man, and it's fucking
exactly.
It's easy, man.
Like stepping on a bug.
Squat.